Welcome to a heartwarming tale of an orphan girl who discovers her place in a small town filled with kindness, where the bonds of community lead her down an unexpected path to happiness and family. Enjoy.
Sarah, an orphan who had spent years moving from one place to another, was finally given a house in a small town. The house was old, dusty, and far from luxurious, but Sarah was grateful to have a place of her own. She had been through so much, and the idea of settling down in one spot, even if it was a small, quiet town, felt like a relief. Not long after moving in, Sarah met Ruby, a friendly woman in her 40s who lived nearby. Ruby noticed Sarah struggling to clean the dusty old house and immediately offered to help. She introduced herself as Ruby J. Grimes, or simply Aunt Ruby, and explained that in their town, everyone was like family. "We help each other out here," Ruby said with a smile. Before Sarah could protest, Ruby had already started rallying her family to assist with cleaning and repairs. The townspeople quickly embraced Sarah, welcoming her as one of their own. They brought her food, supplies, and anything else they thought she might need. Sarah found their generosity overwhelming at first. She wasn't used to people being so kind without expecting anything in return. But as she settled in, she began to feel at home in the small town, where people spoke their minds and helped each other without hesitation. Sarah found a job as a nanny at the local daycare center. The pay was modest, but she didn't need much. The townspeople continued to look out for her, often bringing her fresh vegetables from their gardens or homemade treats. One day, old man Walter called out to Sarah as she was walking home from work. "Come by the house, Sarah. The missus has something for you." Walter's wife handed her 2 buckets full of cucumbers and tomatoes, insisting she take them and preserve them for the winter. As the months passed, Sarah became more and more integrated into the life of the town. She planted a vegetable garden with the help of Ruby and her daughter Anna, learned to care for it, and even started trying some of the produce from her own little plot. Life in the small town was peaceful, and Sarah found herself truly content for the first time in years. One morning, Sarah decided to explore the woods behind her house. She had heard about the mushrooms that grew there and wanted to gather some for herself. The woods were beautiful, with mist lingering in the low-lying areas and the sun just beginning to rise behind the trees. Sarah felt a deep sense of peace as she walked through the forest, marveling at the beauty around her. After a while, Sarah stumbled upon an old, abandoned airplane, likely from World War II. Curious, she approached it, wondering why no one had ever removed it. As she peered inside, she was startled by the sound of someone sneezing. Shocked, she backed away, but quickly realized the sneeze had come from a child. Inside the plane, she found a little girl, scared and alone. The girl, who introduced herself as Jessica, explained that she had gotten lost while exploring the woods. She had spent the night in the airplane, too frightened to find her way home. Sarah comforted Jessica, assuring her that everything would be all right, and took her back to her house. There, Jessica quickly fell asleep after a warm meal, exhausted from her ordeal. Knowing the town would be searching for Jessica, Sarah went to find Ruby, who immediately called the authorities. It wasn't long before Jessica's father, Jared, arrived at Sarah's house, frantic with worry. When he saw Jessica safe and sound, he was overwhelmed with relief. Jessica apologized for getting lost, and Jared promised to spend more time with her in the future. Grateful for Sarah's kindness, Jared and Sarah began spending more time together, often taking Jessica on walks to explore the town and surrounding areas. Despite her initial reluctance, Sarah couldn't help but feel a growing connection to Jared and his daughter. The 3 of them quickly became close, spending more and more time together. As the months passed, Sarah realized that she had found something she never expected in the small town: a sense of belonging and a new family. Although she had resisted the idea at first, it became clear that she and Jared were growing closer, not just as friends, but as something more. A year later, Sarah and Jared returned to the town, this time to ask Ruby to be the godmother of their newborn daughter, fulfilling a wish that little Jessica had made. Ruby was overjoyed to accept, and Sarah couldn't help but smile at how her life had changed so much in just a short time. In the end, Sarah found not just a house but a true home, filled with love, friendship, and a new family that she had never expected to find.